Good morning and welcome to the Follower of One Vision Cast. I'm looking forward to this particular topic. So today we've been talking about initiating ministry right where we are. That's our theme for March. We don't have to go anyplace else. We can be ministers right where we are doing what we're doing. And our topic is seeing these opportunities. And today's passage is Colossians 4:5. The verse says, conduct yourself with wisdom toward outsiders, making the most of the opportunity. And that's from the New American Standard Bible. I think it's interesting because what we're talking about is seeing these opportunities. What kind of opportunities are we talking about? Let's break this down a little bit more. First of all, outsiders, I checked, there's a bunch of different translations, almost all use the same word, outsider, here, and it just means people who are outside the church. Since this letter is a letter to the Colossian church, then we believe that Paul is basically saying, make the most of your interactions with people who are outside of the church. Making the most of your opportunities. These opportunities, I believe, are opportunities for us to demonstrate Christ's love and to make him known in our world. Many times we tend to think that that means talking. I tend to think that I want to have the right thing to say when somebody asks me a question, or I need to practice my Four Spiritual Laws presentation or something like that. I think many of us who are outside of the church staff or are working in the marketplace, many of us believe that what's asked of us is that we be evangelists, that we be someone who is quick to have a gospel presentation on the tip of our tongue or something like that because of commands like this. But I don't believe this is just about talking, making the most of our time. There's another passage, Ephesians 5:15 and 16. I didn't make a slide about this, but this is a passage that I also come back to. It says, therefore, be careful how you walk, not as unwise men, but as wise, making the most of your time because the days are evil. The English Standard says, making the best use of the time because the days are evil. Every moment of every day is an opportunity for us to live like a follower of Christ. I think that's the opportunity. Let's be living like Christ followers. Let's live like anybody could see us and understand that we're following Jesus. I confess, I like being on my own, being able to think about whatever I want to think about and not being around other people. There are times when it's nice to be in private or to be obscure, people not to know what I'm doing or where I am or what I'm watching on TV or listening to or working on the computer or how I behave. There are times when that's a tempting idea, but for me to make the most of that time, I have only so many days between when the day I'm born and the day I die. And I want to make the most of that time. And when I make the most of that time, I'm paying attention to the people around me. I'm looking for opportunities to make God visible, to follow him. Maybe I get a chance to talk, but more than likely, I just get a chance to live differently. Maybe I need to obey the law. I do. I drive too fast. I need to obey the law. I need to live like a Jesus follower. I think sometimes that this whole idea of making the most of the opportunities or taking advantage of opportunities, it isn't just talking, it's living. And I want to challenge us today. Let's be people who live the scripture such that other people notice. Ideally, we hear the question, why are you doing this? And then we get to explain to them, well, I'm doing this because I'm a Jesus follower. I'm making the most of my time. I'm trying to lay up treasure in heaven because of the way I live and because of who I follow and because of what I do. And so I can use my spare time to pray for people. I can use a break in the action, not to play another hand of solitaire on my computer, but I can pray for people. I can go through my old emails. And in fact, I learned today that I can use AI tools. You can use Gemini. If you use Gmail, for example, or Google Workspace, you can enable Gemini to search your old emails. So I got it searching my old emails for people that I need to follow up with and people that I need to pray for. What are we doing with our time? We can make the most of that opportunity. Bonnie put in here Psalm 86:11. Teach me your way, O Lord, that I may walk in your truth. Unite my heart to fear your name. 2 Kings 23. Now, O Lord, please remember how I have walked before you in faithfulness and with a whole heart and have done what is good in your sight. Walking and living is one and the same. Exactly. With a whole heart, walking and living is one and the same. When I'm reading it on the screen, it's small. And so I have to strain a little bit. My eyes are not what they used to be. But the whole point, right? This challenge that we have, there are X number of days between when you're born and when you die. And we have an opportunity to use this one for God's glory, and it matters forever. Matthew 10:42 says that even if we give a cup of cold water in the name of a believer or because we're a disciple, we shall not lose our reward. And so what we do, this little challenge, this verse that's just crammed in here, is about making the most of the opportunity we've been given today by Jesus. We interact with people and we can help people move one notch closer to him. And to me, that's an exciting opportunity. I want to be excited about the fact that we're called to be, like Lynn says, that we're called to be faithful, that Jesus has given us an opportunity today to do things that matter forever. Or we get an opportunity today to watch TV or do whatever we want to do that doesn't matter forever. Those are our choices. I don't want to blow my choice. I don't want to waste an opportunity. And so to me, that's the challenge that we have today. Colossians 4:5. I would love to challenge people to consider that. In fact, in Colossians 4:6, I also didn't make a slide on this. The next verse says, let your speech always be with grace, as though seasoned with salt, so that you will know how to respond to each person, or how you should respond to each person. So Paul is also encouraging us in our words and how we choose our words. But it could also be that I should not use foul language. I should not be critical of other people. My speech needs to be seasoned with grace. My speech needs to be with grace. That's one of the ways that you make the most of these opportunities, is we speak with grace. We live with grace. We live following Christ. And so to me, this is the great challenge that we have as believers. We're trying to maximize the eternal ramifications of having lived following Jesus. And I'm excited because we get the opportunity to do that. So thanks, Lynn. We get the challenge and the opportunity today. So I want to challenge us. Let's make the most of that opportunity. If you are listening to this podcast or listening to this live stream in a future date, if you're listening to a recording or even today, you can leave prayer requests inside the Follower of One community. We have a prayer team. You can leave a message to the prayer team or just put a comment in there that you would like prayer, and someone will respond and add it to the list that the prayer team manages. We will pray for you. Our goal is to help every believer take part in the joy and the excitement that we get from obeying Jesus every day, the way we live and where we work. And so I want to invite you to check out the prayer team. I also want to invite everyone to join us. We start another Marketplace mission trip next Sunday. As I'm recording this, it's March the 9th. On March the 15th is the next Marketplace mission trip that begins. And this is a 2-week exercise designed to help people integrate their faith into what they do every day. It's just a practice. We want to be more intentional and be more purposeful in the way that we live. And the Marketplace Mission Trip will let you do that. It'll help you do that. It's a daily devotional for 2 weeks with some Zoom calls mixed in where we hold one another accountable and we help each other be much more intentional about making the most of these opportunities. And so I want to invite you to join our Marketplace Mission Trip. Thank you so much for being a Marketplace minister. I'm grateful for all the people who joined the call today as well. I see Ed joined, and Lynn, and Rick Johnson. Edward Alton is on here. Ed Samuels, who I was talking about at first, is on here. And Bonnie Mock and Chris Castro. I'm grateful for all of you being part of this community. And I'm excited because I believe that God, He's working and He's moving in all of this. He has a plan for us, and He's given us an opportunity to watch Him work in our world. And I have a blast doing that. It's easy for me to get excited about the things that I see because I want to look. I'm looking for the Lord. And Edward, thanks for the comment. We're grateful for you too. And we're grateful for how each of us helps one another make the most of these opportunities. I'm excited. Let's go today and live like we follow Jesus and watch Him work in and through us today. Remember, what we do as a Marketplace minister, what we do because we follow Jesus matters forever. It counts. That's what it means to make the most of these opportunities. So thank you so much for being here today. And let's follow Jesus and watch what He does with us and celebrate that. Thanks very much.